Welcome back, Fantasy Endgame community. He's Chris. I'm Pierre. Now, we're going to show you how to draft the perfect fantasy football team. We've actually already done this for a 10-team league. Now it's time to do what is probably a little bit more typical, a 12-team league. We're going to go 12 rounds deep, and we're just going to show you how we roll. All right, now, before we get into it, Chris, what is your general mindset? I don't want to say what do you think going in, like who you're going to take. What you don't go in saying, I know I'm going to do this and that. You don't know how draft's going to play out. But what is your general mindset for a 12-team league like this? We got 2 wide receivers, 1 flex for our scoring. It's not super flex, 1 quarterback as well.
Yeah, so I talked about it in our 10-teamer one. If you go back and watch that when you're done with this, that in that format, I like going, I guess what you can call a robust running back or double anchor running back, where I do go 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds if possible, or I just take 2 running backs earlier than I normally might. Because it's only a 10-team league, there's lots of wide receiver value still on the board. But this being a 12-team league, that wide receiver value starts to dry up a lot faster. And even though it's still only a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, my general preferred strategy is 1 early RB, 1 anchor RB, and then, draft a bunch of running backs later who could hit as my RB2. Obviously, like you said, it always depends on how the draft falls, but that's like my general kind of mindset going into a draft like this.
Yeah, I agree that the smaller the league, the easier it is to get 2 stud running backs. But once you get a little bit deeper here, especially if you're playing with some sharp league mates, it's hard, to come away with 2 really good running backs without really sacrificing wide receiver. And then you just leave your team, exposed to a lot more risk. So we'll see how this one plays out. You're drafting from the 4 spot. I have 11. So let's go ahead and get this draft started.
All right, let's do it. All right, well, we go running back, running back, running back. Now, I do say I like going anchor RB in these drafts, and you know who my guy is.
We know your guy is.
all over Najee this year. I think he's going to be the number 1 scoring running back. People worried about stuff that doesn't matter, like O-line, quarterback play, the offense. Just chase the volume, chase the touches, chase the receptions. Najee has all of that. I'm going Najee here.
Of course, you're going Najee, and I don't blame you. That's what I would go with too. It's interesting. We usually run these drafts on Sleeper, a really good platform. We're seeing a lot more now. Instead of JT has been the consensus number 1 basically all year long. We're seeing now all of a sudden McCaffrey going number 1 in a couple of these drafts, which is fine. I get it, but it's just interesting. That's a little shift here. Is it possible? Something that I almost never do. I'm going to do back to back. And look, I don't plan on taking Ja'Marr Chase a ton because usually he goes in the top 5 or 6 picks, right? Ja'Marr Chase has now fallen to me at the 11. If there was a running back, I really thought I would want more. I would take him, but there isn't. Look, DeAndre Swift just got taken. That doesn't always happen in the first round. Dalvin Cook is gone. I'm going to have to go with Ja'Marr Chase. And again, I probably don't have hardly any of him so far. We do a ton of best ball drafts and underdog, but here you go. Ja'Marr Chase at the 11. That's a pretty good start, huh?
Very good.
All right. So Devonta Adams, Mark Andrews. All right. Now this is interesting. Travis Kelce is the tight end 1 for me. He's still on the board. And like I said, running back, I like going anchor RB, but do I want Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones? It feels too early. I like Saquon, but still, I don't feel like I need to force it. I really would rather have that huge advantage at Travis Kelce. So, man, give me the number 1 tight end and potentially the number 1 wide receiver at the 11th spot any day.
Yeah, when I saw Adams and Andrews go, I was like, man, I wonder if he's going to go Kelce here. I think that's a good pick there. Now I did go Najee in the first. I do really like Javonte here. Man, I've been taking so much Mike Evans in these drafts. I can't stop taking Mike Evans as my wide receiver 1. I know most people would like Debo here. I'm very worried about Debo. We've talked about Debo a lot. I'm going to stick to my guns. We're trying to draft the best possible team, not trying to just be different to be different. I'm going to go Evans here, my wide receiver 1. I've talked about it many times. I think he has top 5 upside. Chris Godwin, not going to be 100%. Russell Gage is fine. I like Gage, but I think Evans is going to have a huge target share. And, man, I feel like every draft, I pretty much start this way in every draft. And you know what? If I started every draft this way, I would love it. And I'm going to go T. Higgins here, another guy I seem to get as my wide receiver 2 or 3 in all of these drafts. Just has a huge ceiling. Even with Jamar Chase, we saw it last year. Both those guys can thrive. I think both will thrive again. So, yeah, I do this. It feels like in almost every draft, but there's a reason. It's because I really like it.
Look, don't be different just for the sake of being different, and you wind up with a guy that you don't like as much. That's not how you win, right? Look, there's a fine line, right, between getting your guys, right, and always saying, well, I really believe in this guy, I'm going to draft him. But you also do want to differentiate a little bit. If you have 100% of your leagues, you draft, the same wide receiver, and that wide receiver gets hurt, then you're screwed in 100% of your leagues. So, there's a balance here. Now, of course, you only play 1 or 2 leagues. You don't have that problem, but I think we do have that problem, Chris. We're in a little bit more than that. All right. Wide receiver, look, I'm almost at the turn here, right? Only one team left to pick. Wide receiver, there isn't one player that stands out. I'm fine with whoever's left. Look at running back. I'm going to go with, as much as I love Cam Akers, a guy who absolutely could be a stud, could be the bell cow here. That's Breece Hall. Now I could go Akers, go back-to-back running back. Let's see the receivers that are left. I got Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, Terry McLaurin. It's still too early for guys like Courtland Sutton and Marquise Brown. So now's where I'm a little bit torn because I like those receivers, probably Pittman or McLaurin first. But if I don't take running back now, I'm kind of committing to waiting on running back. But we do talk about anchor RB. Look, I know Akers is a risk. I think I'd rather have the guy who could be a top 15 receiver this year. I'm sorry to do this to you, Chris, but look, if this is going to be the perfect draft, I'll take the best player, and that's Michael Pittman right now.
Yeah, and he's not going to be top 15. He's going to be top 10. He's going to be top 10, so that's a good pick. I would have definitely taken him if he made it back to me. So none of these running backs, I mean, yeah, I like Mitchell. I kind of like CEH, but they're not jumping off the page to me. I definitely like Judy. Definitely like Marquise Brown. Who's left at tight end? I took Schultz in my 0 RB draft. I'm going to wait a little bit. Hopefully Schultz will make it back to me. I'm going to go Marquise Brown here as my flex. So basically Marquise Brown is going to be my flex, and I think that's actually no. I take that back. I'm going to take Mike Williams as my flex. I think Mike Williams has massive upside this year. I think he could actually have just as high as a target share as Keenan Allen this year, if not higher. He's going to get way more red zone opportunity. I love Mike Williams as my flex. That's huge upside in my flex spot. So I'm loving that pick. And then, well, Schultz made it back to me. Again, I do like Elijah Mitchell. I wouldn't mind Elijah Mitchell as my RB2. But again, we talked about it in the 10-teamer, and even though I prefer the elite tight end more in the 10-teamer, it's still always nice in these shallower leagues where you only have 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, 2 running backs. You have a smaller starting lineup. It's nice to have that tight end that you don't have to think about, and you don't have to stream tight end every week because, let me tell you from experience, streaming tight end is no fun. So I am going to grab Schultz here, even though I do like Elijah Mitchell as well. I just want to have that tight end locked up, not have to worry about it, so that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah, look, I can tell you, having Kelsey early, there's just so much peace of mind there. I don't have to worry about it. And you might look at your receiver and say, well, it's not as stacked as some other teams. Travis Kelce basically is a wide receiver 1, but he fills a spot where there's a lot bigger of a drop-off. And Schultz, I'm about Schultz there. All right, so at this point here, there is no difference between the running backs that are left. Mitchell, I would have maybe considered him there, but look, I'm going to take my guy. I'm a believer in Allen Robinson. We've heard nothing but good things about him. I have him as my wide receiver 3. That is an easy pick there. All right. Now, I don't always go quarterback this early. It feels early to me, but I know my competition here, my competition being the sleeper CPU. I know he likes to stock up on 2 quarterbacks before I get my first, and I will get sniped on my late round pick. So I'm going to go with probably the only guy I would take this early, and that is Jalen Hurts.
There you go. And yeah, look, in the leagues you and I play in, like the more expert competitive leagues, quarterbacks don't go that early. But in my home league, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys in your home leagues, man, everybody's drafting 2 QBs, right? They draft Josh Allen in the 2nd round, and then they draft somebody, another QB in the 8th. So smart move there. locking up that early QB. You kind of have to do that in these drafts sometimes. Now, I like my 3 wide receivers. Oh man, I really like Bateman here. But I also kind of like CEH as my potential RB2. I think I can grab one of these wide receivers when they come back. I really feel like after CEH, those running backs are kind of all the same. So I'm going to go CEH here. I don't need him. I don't need CEH to be a top 10, top 5 running back in this spot. I really just need him to be, top 12 would be great. Top 15 would be fantastic in this spot. And look, Bateman comes back to me here. So I'm going to grab Bateman as my wide receiver 4. I love Bateman, the clear wide receiver 1 with Lamar Jackson. Loving Bateman this year. So I'm happy to get him as my wide receiver 4.
As you should be. Okay. So, yeah, Bateman didn't make it back to me. It's okay. And I just got pretty much sniped on Gabe Davis. That's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to wait. I think I got to go. There's really no running back jumping out. Look, I don't have to worry about tight end anymore. Don't have to worry about quarterback. I still just have my 1 running back. Nobody is really standing out for me at this point. So I'm going to take 1 more receiver just to solidify that position, because even though Sleeper has him ranked a little bit lower, look, Elijah Moore, so much. I love Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman. Those are my guys. I loved them since before last year's draft. It was all over them. So I'm going to go Elijah Moore. And then now, well, Devin Singletary is gone, so I'll take the guy I usually take at this point. That's going to be Chase Edmonds. Pretty high-end RB2 there.
Yep, good pick. All right, well, I was hoping Tom Brady would fall to me so I can get the Brady Evans stack. Like you said, I don't want to wait. Well, actually, you know what? I am going to wait a little bit because I see Trey Lance there. I think Trey Lance will make it back to me. Even though I do have the potential Brady Evans stack, I like Trey Lance a lot this year. That running, just give me that running upside all day with quarterbacks. So I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson here. Give myself a little depth at running back. I think he has some nice flex value, even if he's not necessarily ahead of Harris, but I think he could carve out a bigger role. And if something happens to Harris, I think he'll have a huge role. And now I'm going to grab Trey Lance, who I do like more than Matthew Stafford, just because of that rushing upside, just way more upside. Trey Lance could be this year's Jalen Hurts, so love Trey Lance there.
You called it. Tom Brady didn't make it back to you, but Lance did, and so much upside there. Absolutely, like you said, that's an easy pick there. Definitely take him over a guy like Aaron Rodgers, which is not the popular opinion for everybody, but I think we know that for fantasy purposes, more upside. All right, so at this point, let me check my roster. I got 4 receivers who I love. I got stud tight end. I got a really good quarterback. I could use some more depth at running back. I only have 1 team after me, though, once again. So unless there's one single player that I really, really want, I don't really have to worry too much about getting sniped. There isn't a running back I absolutely love. There is a receiver I have my eye on. I'm going to take Russell Gage before he gets drafted.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, now I go back to running back. I'm going for upside here because at this point, we talked about this. If you checked our other video, which we talked about our kind of late round sleepers and players we like after this point, we started from around 10, if I recall. So who are guys we like there? I don't think we took this guy in that draft, but I'm going to take Isaiah Spiller, even though, look, I know if you listen to what we talked about right after the draft, he wasn't my favorite prospect. He's in a great landing spot. We've heard good reviews. He's a natural pass catcher. If Eckler goes down, you have a potential league winner. So I'm going to take a shot on Spiller.
Yeah, I like that pick. So I'm looking here. Not really anybody jumping off the page. I probably need running back a little more than I need wide receiver. And, actually, okay, I'm going to draft this guy again. But I really think at the end of the season, he's going to win people fantasy championships, and that is Rachaad White. And I know I keep drafting him, but there's a reason. I think he's maybe not hungrier than Leonard Fournette, but he's more motivated than Leonard Fournette right now. I think he's going to either
Good choice of words.
Yeah, he's either going to get the job through injury or he's just going to take the job from Leonard Fournette. I really do. So love grabbing him any chance I can. And, I was thinking about Tyler Boyd with that last pick. I think Boyd's really being slept on this year. Yeah, he's a wide receiver 3 there, but he's a wide receiver 3 in an offense that's probably going to throw the ball a ton. He's going to have some nice weeks for me, so I will be happy to grab him here.
All right. So back to me at this point. I'm still looking for some upside here, running back. I know this feels like a safe pick with Nyheim Hines, but he's going to be involved. Look, before last year, he was fantasy relevant, not just a high-end handcuff, if you will, but he's going to be involved as pass catcher. They've already said this. He does get some red zone work too. So I'm going to go with Nyheim Hines. And then I'm going to take one of your guys as one of your specials here, Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last pick. I could go really any direction, but I do think I need a little help at running back, and we're starting to hear some good things. Kenneth Gainwell was a guy I already kind of like. We're hearing some good things. I think at a minimum, he has a pass-catching role. I think he also will get some early down work, so getting Kenneth Gainwell here, I really like that.
There you go. I mean, Chris, you got Najee, of course, your anchor. I think once again, you have the best wide receiving core in the entire league. Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Mike Williams. That is pretty damn good. And, of course, Dalton Schultz at tight end. Trey Lance could be a league winner at quarterback. Was this, for you, your perfect draft?
I mean, pretty close. I would love to have this team any chance I could. I think I have upside all over the board. So, yeah, no real complaints about this team, honestly.
Rashad Bateman there, that to me makes it pretty close to perfect. Jamar Chase at the 11. I don't know how often that's going to happen. I got him and Kelsey. Potential number 1 at their positions respectively, and I got them back to back. Breece Hall, absolutely getting slept on. He's my anchor. Michael Pittman, guys. If you've been on the Discord at all, you know the love for Pittman in our endgame community. Allen Robinson, Elijah Moore, just so much potential here for fantasy, and of course with Jalen Hurts. So, look, this is the way we go. We usually get either one or no running backs super early, and we try to, kind of stock up on each position where the value lies. You can't go in, with a mindset saying you already know who you want, who you don't want. It all depends how the draft breaks down. To me, this is my perfect draft the way it broke down for a 12-team league. And same thing with Chris. You got your guys. I think we're pretty happy at the end of the day. Guys, if you want to kind of sharpen your draft skills, well, guess what? You can draft with us. We do this. We do mocks every Thursday, and they fill up fast. Okay, if you want to be part of it, join the Discord, and then be waiting around for those links when they pop up, and you can draft with us, and we stream it live so y'all can watch too. All right, our goal is to try to help you win. That's what we're doing here. All right, thanks for watching.